Hey guys, Mike Sullivan here with First American Axe and Forge, and I know quite a bit about axes, manufacturers, hatchets, various steels. I don't know everything, but I know a fair amount. What I don't know about is everything I would need for an everyday carry item that's in my truck, going to and from work, going camping with the kids. So what I do is I go to people with expertise and ask their expertise. I have with me Tracy Wilson from Leave No Trace. Thank you. And I asked her, what does she carry? What does she have when that situation happens? What can I gather for myself and my family? So please, Tracy.
Hey, thank you, Mike, and I appreciate having me up here and all the teaching that you've been doing for me, and it's a pleasure just to give back a small amount. My scenario that I always throw out there is the scenario of walking away from a car. What can you throw over your shoulder from your car, from your camper, from your home, and walk into the woods and make it happen to keep yourself in the green and living. And you know, I believe that there are certain things that you have to be able to do, and it's the basics of shelter, fire, water, food. You know, shelter can be everything from what you make, like a wickiup, to the clothing you're wearing. You know, it's your own personal climate, small microclimate that you can control. And then from there, it's fire, or water, fire, and food. And what I've done is I've built my kit, and every person is different. They have strong suits and weak suits that they got to address. So put a kit together that suits you, that is based off of your skills, your weaknesses, and your strong points. And I think the best place to start is the number one most important thing, and that's cover.
Okay.
You know, if you go along with Dave Canterbury's,
I know.
prescribe is you know, the 5 C's that he does, which I think is a really strong thing, giving Dave his credit. You know, he covers, you know, your combustion, your cutting tools, your cordage, your containers. You know, these are things that I think are very important. So the first one, you know, getting your cover, things like having a good schmug, a scarf, and some type of bandana or something to keep that sweat out of your eyes when you're hiking. Covering a container in, you know, when you're filling it up with water to keep
cool.
those nasty big particles out of it as you're filling it.
Okay.
You want to have something that water can easily flow through, but at the same time is thin enough that it's going to keep out those big nasty bugs floating in the
So
water.
it's your first filtration.
First filtration. So right there. Also, you can take it in the heat of the summer, soak it, keep yourself cool. And so I'm a big believer in these types of bandanas and whatnot.
And where can you
they're
get
very
these?
light. You can find them.
Well, these we know where you can
Yeah,
get.
from anything from a flea market to online. They're easy to pick up.
Okay.
If you go to festivals and gatherings, you're going to see them there. And they run about, the schmugs run about, I'd say $10 a piece.
Okay.
And you can get them of a multiple number of colors. So the next thing from there is I believe in wool. I'm a huge believer in wool. And I keep on my kit, rolled up as you'll see from the picture, my blanket. Now I've had this one for a long time. It's a thinner wool blanket. And what I've done is I've gone as far as to, in the middle of it, put a hole in the middle of it so I can wear it over my body as a parka. And if I needed to, I could even take my
It's a raincoat, isn't it?
rain jacket or parka and throw this on over the top of that.
Oh.
And I've had nights where I've actually taken that just to try it out, put this on, taken the rain jacket, and put the rain jacket on over this and just curl my legs up underneath in Indian sitting position and let this drape over my legs and let the rain flow off of it so I can just sit like this.
So the drier you are, the warmer you are.
Yep. You want to
Even though wool will keep you warm when entirely soaked.
Yep.
The less you have to worry about, the better.
And, yep. Unlike some of the wicking clothings like what you're wearing right now.
Right.
It would, pull moisture away and still hold in heat. Cotton, to me, I've always said cotton is a killer.
Yes.
And a lot of people disagree with that. I will always
it stays cold.
Cotton is a killer. The other one that I always
for
try
industry, it's
sorry for industry folks. It's great for T-shirts with a logo, bad for survival. So, this is a new one that I'm bringing in because the old one, I tried it. It was just a tent that was set up as just Mylar. This is aluminum. It's a. As a matter of fact, I believe I even have.
It's definitely in the survival mindset of bringing attention to where you are.
Yep, this is a tube tent. There you go. And I'm just adding this to my EDC. I went with a smaller one that packed up really tiny, and I got in it. I used it 3 days, and then the 4th day, 5th day, each day it got a little worse. With the wind, it got worse. Then I had to build more shelter around it just to keep it to where I could use it. So, those break down. And those are good. If you need to go ahead and
What's on?
deal with that.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so you have.
And this is an aluminum coated waterproof tube tent. And you can pick them up for $10, $15. I'm going to give this one a shot, see if it's a little bit tougher. It seems like it is. So always be on the lookout for the next best thing for your
There's
kit.
your aluminum. On there. So that's on your inside, and you could have the fire out, and it would reflect the heat back into your back.
And that's what you're going off is that heat radiated back towards you.
Right.
And, and it's one of those right there. I've kept myself pretty warm. I've been down as cold as 52 degrees, I think it was that night, and just the other Mylar, and was semi-comfortable. But what I would suggest is the survival bivvies that you see. This is a little thicker one, but you can see they pack up real small. And this one is one that will pull all the way around you, just like a sleeping mummy bag, but that fits right in there and tucks neatly down inside your pack.
Yeah, a lot like the
Mylar.
a lot like the FEMA blankets and the for National Incident Management Systems (NIMS), things that they would want for emergency use. Okay,
Absolutely, and it packs.
a lot of
away
my
nice and
background,
tight.
guys, is in safety, and some of my videos I know I'm not that safe, but hey, OSHA doesn't live here. All right, so we got cover, which is number one.
Number one.
So what's
Now-
number two?
Well, there's one last thing that a lot of people forget, and I'm just going to give it a quick throw in there, is that when something happens, you're going to be out there with what you carry on you, what you're wearing. What do you wear every day? Is that something you're comfortable walking into the woods with? And a lot of people don't think about that. Now, I surmise this is what you wear every day. And it's
Mostly.
Those that know me, I'm usually walking around flip-flops or barefoot and something like this with maybe a jacket on, and that's it. That's all I've got. So I'm not carrying a whole lot. But by golly, make sure your kit will cover the time of year and where you're at, the locations that you're going to be in.
And
just
that's
make
a good
adjustments
point.
as necessary.
The time of year
Yeah.
and your location, because cover may involve a few more layers of clothes.
Yep. And make your adjustments as needed or necessary. and have multiple kits. Have a kit for your home, your kit for your car, kit for the camper, even if you've got a location away from your house. You bury stuff out in the woods in a sealed
There are people like that.
container. It's a good thing. Now, the next most important thing to me is going to be fire. Everybody knows I'm
I like fire.
big on fire, and
I would never have guessed that.
fire makes you feel good. In my kit, the Fat Lighter ferro rod, I sell them. And I carry them. I wouldn't advocate something to somebody that I don't keep on my person, but I carry the smaller packable version that I sell, and I use a knife to scrape off and make the sparks, so I use that. Now, with that in mind, I like to have backups for this.
Oh, definitely.
Also keep in my pocket a couple lighters and one in my bag. So just in case something happens, I've got one on me and one in the bag.
And,
So I
and
keep
you've
those
seen
as
over those
well.
last couple of days, I don't smoke, but yet I've got a lighter in each pocket.
Absolutely. And, a lot of times you'll see me carrying around. Now, I got to give these guys due credit. Wazoo has come out with an awesome invention here. And it's a necklace ferro rod.
Yeah.
And it's a zirconium striker. You wouldn't think that you could get a good fire going off of these, but by golly, I've gone out and just tested it with these, and this, even just by itself, is fantastic.
That's awesome.
And with that in mind, for all the help and everything that you've done, I'm going to gift you one of those.
Well, thank you.
Because I also carry those, and I think it would be good in your hands.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
And just to show you one of the reasons why I'm doing that, the wonderful work that Mike did for me, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Next, with the Combustion,
Good
is
job,
a good
Wazoo.
magnifying
Real quick.
glass.
Good
Yeah,
job. I like it.
those guys are awesome at Wazoo, I'm telling you. And I've got another thing I'm going to show you later that
I like that.
Uh,
Thank you.
it really throws it in there. They hit it out of the park with something, and I've got to show you guys this for your own info later. Having a magnifying glass, being able to make fire with that, to me, I've always carried one. It's just one of those things that I will always carry with me.
That's a nice one, too.
Yeah, and I've been able to get fires in just a few seconds with that.
That is nice.
Now the next thing with fire for me that's very important is tinders. I carry fat lighter sticks with me.
I've got several of those.
Yep, and in
Thanks, Virgil.
Yep, Virgil's awesome. These are southern yellow pine, longleaf pine, and they light up real quick. It's what all my fat lighter ferro rods are made out of. So between my ferro rod and these, I've got fat lighter that I carry with me. And then they have, I think Dave Canterbury carries these.
Yeah.
These are a fire tab. And I tried one and liked it, and somebody gave me a couple, and I put it right in my kit. So I'm carrying a couple in my
I've got
kit.
several of those, too. Got those at the Pathfinder gathering. Thanks, Dave.
And here's something else that I tell people. As you're walking around, you get into an emergency situation, or you're just out having fun on the weekends testing your kit. Start as you're walking out into the woods picking up your tinders. And this is what I picked up just walking out into the woods off of one of my little excursions. I've got paper birch in here, cattail, I've got some juniper bark, so throw that in your bag. And a lot of people don't really consider it, but this is where I'm going to go with this. I'm all the time looking for good containers. And one of the good containers that I've run into is the Hidden Woodsman. I really like his stuff. He, at the last gathering, I did some horse trading with him and got one of his packs as well as a bunch of his dry bags and a belt bag. And so, like I say, I never said this is the only thing I will ever carry. If I find something better, by golly, I'm trading it.
Oh yeah, you've got to always try something new.
So that pretty much covers your combustion.
So you got probably what, 4 sources, 5 sources of combustion?
Yep, I have quite a few. And then the last one is your mental knowledge of what you have learned. If you know how to make friction by or fire by friction, hand drill, bow drill, you know, flint and steel, those sorts of things. And next on that is going to be your water. A lot of people don't know, one of my jobs is I was an engineer in the military and the Air Force, and water purification was one of those. And what I carry with me, first thing is Sawyer filter. I mean, I can take that with this little squeeze bag and I can filter my water. It goes down to 0.01 microns on these filters, and I think I can get out of this particular filter 100,000 gallons of water.
That's
so
quite a bit.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of water for an emergency situation. And I really think that they're great. I've used them for months at a time outdoors, and I can tell you they've held up. The only thing you need to be aware of is if you're in weather that drops below freezing, make sure you get all the water out of them and keep them close to your body during the night. They do have a propensity of cracking or breaking if they freeze up. So be
that
wary
would be
of
an
that.
inside pocket.
Inside pocket. Just make sure you shake the water out. Now, the next on this list is going to be your cutting tools, and I carry with me a knife. It's always going to be.
Isn't that a Pathfinder knife?
It is. It's one of the Pathfinder knives that I was able to pick up. One of the things that I like that Dave does is that everything is, you know, as he puts it, made for the working man, and it is a good tool that can be used. I think another one of his sayings is you can take a $1,000 knife and put it in somebody's hands and has no experience and it's not worth anything, but you can take a $5 knife and put it in a person's with experience and they can do wonderful things.
Carve.
So I believe in a knife with a full tang, but I also like having a pocket knife that has other little things in it, so I can sit around.
Little handy things.
And handy things. Everything from a saw blade to other little tools, so that while I'm sitting around a campfire, I can make little things and doodads, you know, mentally occupy your time.
Yeah, I carry a Boy Scout Swiss Army knife.
Awesome. Those are fantastic. Now, next in that line, and to tell you, Mike did a fantastic job. This axe, this is a what a lot of people consider a brush axe or a bush axe. It's a Carpenter Axe that I think Dave even Canterbury calls it a trapper's axe.
And he espoused the title for it, and we're going with it, trapper's axe from First American.
Yep, and I'm a big believer in lighter is better. And so having something this small, I don't need to go out and I in a survival situation, I'm not going out into the woods to build a cabin. And something like this is perfect for me. That's right on my pack. And I wanted you all to see the beautiful work that Mike did with this. Has my symbols on the leather and the wood, and his symbols on the leather and the wood. And they refinished everything, refaced it.
Yeah.
Just incredible. And I even have my inches on here for measuring. So it's set up, and that's another cutting tool that's there and readily available. I also have another ferro rod from Sharp and Spark. Ferro rod in this end. On this end it has a striker for it and a sharpening tool for a knife.
For basic sharpening.
So it's basic sharpening for a knife.
Excellent.
Now from there, the next cutting tool is that good old Bucko Saw. I'm a huge believer in having a good saw with you. Goodness gracious, it saves you hours.
Yeah, and
I think that's a
if you end up
self-explanatory
losing,
tool.
if you end up losing any of your other cutting devices and you're trying to chop wood, you still can chop wood with this. Well, maybe later we'll cover that.
Yep. But an awesome tool.
Yeah,
Bucko
I've got
is
a
a good
couple.
one. Now, and going back, I'm sorry, I forgot the container aspect. Not plugging Dave's stuff too much. I'm trying not to, but
It seems like you have a little bit of
have a little bit of
Hidden
Dave's.
Woodsman,
yeah,
Victor.
whatever works good is what I like to throw in there. And with Dave's stuff, he has the pot. It's a 2-quart pot and 2-quart container. As you can see, I've gotten my good use out of this. I will even pack a lot of my EDC stuff down inside the container. If you're using them, don't forget to let them dry out first, and occasionally, take some Clorox or something and clean them out and let it dissipate. But that right there is a great thing. The reason why the pot's great is you can have 1 bottle of water boiling, get it purified, and
Cook soup in one.
and
Water.
take your water, pour it into your container, seal it up, put it back in the stream to let it cool down real quick. You can have another pot boiling, making your soup or whatever it is. Normally what I'll do is I'll have like a bunch of these chicken broth tabs or cubes or tear opens, and I'll put in my kit for having something with some flavor. I can add in snails, crickets, whatever.
Oh, I'm heading down
so.
to Kentucky in a couple weeks. I have to go right past the shop. I might pick up.
Absolutely, and I think they sell them for $30 to $40. I
think so.
Something like that, and they're worth it. Now, also containers and stuff covering that. When you go in, you get these little plastic shopping bags. They're fantastic. These are worth every penny, and you don't pay anything for them. They're,
I kind of live by that rule of what you pack in, you pack out. So any of your trash you take with you so that you're not cluttering up.
Well, if you're going through and you're picking berries, or you find some tinder, or just anything basic that you would need to carry,
or even
have a little bag.
Even at the last gathering, they had that one competition about crossing the river, getting dry tinder, and then coming back.
And
that's
Ziploc bags.
Primary.
Being able to put tinder in a Ziploc bag. Food that if you smoke or whatnot, you hung it, smoked it, you can contain it in here and keep it longer. So, God forbid, even if you had to use this, and I teach people how to make cordage out of these. You can break these down and make cordage out of these shopping bags. You can use them as bear bags if you had to. Throw a string up over, pull them up, put little holes in case it rains, let the water flow out, but you've got a bag for it. There you go. Extra little containers. Even you can carry water in them.
in a pinch.
In a pinch, if you had nothing else.
Right.
Some of the next things
Speaking
is
of cordage, you got paracord here.
And I carry right at about 50 feet of it, 50 to 60 feet. I think I cut a little bit out of there,
Yeah,
but
there's
some missing
Right.
there. So, cordage is great. I recommend the paracord, the one that has the 5 to 7 strands. I just learned about, I didn't even know it existed. I was being told by Mike about the one that has one of the strings you can make fire with, and then the other one is a wire that is inside the cord. So I'm going to look for that, and I may be upgrading this kit with some new cordage here soon. So I appreciate your info on that. I didn't know. So cordage is covered. Next is your food, and you'll notice that my kit is pretty heavy on the food aspects.
Yeah, it's pretty important. So we have what? Fishing here. We
Fishing.
got fly rods? Not rods.
Little bitty fly
Lures.
hooks, lures,
Another
and
lures here.
jigs. I have
Bobbers.
some bobbers. I have fishing twine in there and hooks, and I
You got a
have sinkers.
Homemade hook here.
Yep. And I've got stuff in there for, the long haul. I went down and I found flies for 99 cents at the store. And by golly, let me tell you, 99-cent fly works really fantastic sometimes. You just put it right out there on the water, and I've had instant dinner. Don't be afraid to take the little fish. Don't go just looking for the big fish. Go for those little fish.
Any protein in an environment.
And then the yo-yo reels are fantastic. You pull them out, throw the line in with the hook, and when the fish nabs it, it pulls up. Just be careful about practicing with these. Some states, they're against the law to have. So
know your laws.
Know your laws in your states. I have bank cord. I think it's a very important piece to have in the kit. That's a small bank cord. Just using that for snares. Okay. What I use this for is tying my traps. Yes, I use rat traps as well as several other traps that are primitive in nature. I'm a huge believer in using these traps. So don't, a lot of people might frown on it, they laugh at it, but I promise you,
it works.
It does work. Try it, set up a couple, everything from mice to squirrels you can take with these, and they are a good, clean, quick kill.
Right. 1 second.
So having the traps, those are fantastic. I carry 2 of each. That way I can put one on one side, one on the other, check them regularly.
I'm going to have to get myself a couple of these.
Yeah. They're good to have. Trust me, they work. Just make sure you
I have seen a squirrel taking one of these, so yeah, they will work for small game. They'll keep you fed. And
snare wire, they're faithful.
And this you can get at like Home Depot, and it's easy to acquire.
Now here's one of the ones, gentleman that's acquaintance of mine has a school down in South Carolina. These are Crawdad / small minnow fish traps, and you do nothing more than unzip the top. You can put a little weight down, put them in a creek, or if you're like me from down south, it's a crick, and put them on the edge.
Up here it's called a ditch.
A ditch up here.
That's all we have up here is ditches.
And you put them in and weight them down in the shallow areas. You use this portion of it, tie it off somewhere so it doesn't go taking off in the middle of the night with one of your raccoon friends.
Yeah.
And
trash pandas.
They pack up. Trash pandas will steal, but they pack up very small, light.
Yeah, I like those.
So
I will try to have a link down below of as much as I can remember of all of these. So
there we go. And also
back to container.
The Hidden Woodsman container. I think it's fantastic. He's got so many different pockets and everything in here that you can even turn it inside out and use it as a signal.
That's awesome.
So front pockets, back pockets, straps. He's got it all.
Couple ways of carrying it.
Yep.
Pocket back there, guys. Well, that's where your axe can go.
Yep, right there.
Right there. That's nice. All right.
And then the last couple things that I throw in there real fast.
So this is above and beyond the 5 C's.
Yep, this is well above and beyond those 5 C's. Signaling devices, the whistles. Not going to do that in here. Good little flashlights with the ability to signal. I love the headlamps that have the ability to go to different brightnesses. Check your batteries in those often. Just
now, would you suggest carrying a secondary set of batteries?
I would.
Because these are...
Yep.
These are a minute amount of weight.
Yeah, usually those, you'll find them that will be just 1 AA or 2 AA's, and some of them are...
These are 3 AAA's.
Yep, you're going to see all different types. Just make sure you get the right batteries for the ones you're carrying. The next is just a simple, lightweight, packable med kit. Just basic emergency kit. I also keep in there, plug in one of my friends, Dr. Appelian, from season 2 of Alone that I was on the show with. She makes a first aid salve for bug bites and whatnot. You can find that on her website, Dr. Appelian.
I'll put
or
that.
Dr. Nicole.
I'll put that down below.
And it's fantastic. It is really good for bug bites. Now, in that spirit of keeping bug bites and everything away, you can walk into one of the local stores and pick these up for $1, $2, $3 a piece. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Dr. Appelian?
Dr. Appelian.
I'll have to.
Or Dr. Nicole. Sorry.
Dr. Nicole. Okay,
Yep.
I'll have to get some.
And she sells them pretty cheap. She gives them away practically. And she makes all of those herself. So they're all natural. Now for the non-natural DEET stuff, I'm a big believer in having some of that. That'll get you through 5 or 6 days.
Prevention.
Spray it in your hand.
An ounce of prevention.
And go. In case you run into a tick or something bad, you have the ability to pull them off. Just a small, lightweight tick removing device. You'll see all different types. That one is just small and plastic. And I like that it's a bright color that can outline the difference between the tick and the device that you're using. A lot of them you kind of can't see the legs and whatnot. With this one being a bright neon green,
Yeah, you can make sure
even
you
at night
get
you
the
can see
entire
it.
thing.
Yep. Then a pen. A lot of people don't understand why I would carry a Sharpie. I can do everything from writing on leaves to leave notes. I can, if I get bit on the arm by something, I can draw a circle around and mark it. Yep. See if it's progressing, reduces, and it's good thing to have. And then
now, me being the metal worker and all that I like I like to play around with metal. A regular Sharpie doesn't always work on it.
No.
So what I actually have is one that can work on wet and oily surfaces. And it's a Sharpie, but it's designed for wet, oily surfaces.
Huh.
So
Sharpie it is. Now, the other thing I don't have in here, because I have it in the front seat of my car, is a small compass, but I have the one that's in here. It's about the exact same size. The guys from Wazoo Survival have put together a small survival kit, and I've got to plug them here with this, that has...
So we have a signaling mirror.
Everything in it, yes.
A couple of zip ties.
Throw it in your pocket.
Ferro rod.
Yep.
A little flashlight, a compass, signaling whistle. It's a little bit of cordage, some fishing gear.
These small bags that they have will hold up to a quart of water.
So you got some containers there. Looks like some little packets of sodium chloride to sanitize.
There's cordage in there.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
Yep.
And do you know what this goes for?
This is running, I think it was around $60 to $70. But the thing you have to, and it has a compass in it. You've got to remember that for this size, this weight, and everything that it's giving you, that's pretty daggone good. And
so that's Wazoo?
It's Wazoo Survival. And same guys that make the ferro rod necklaces that I'm wearing.
Definitely.
They have little fire tabs in here, 3 fire tabs. This is something that you could hide in a hat, put in a belt. All these items would just fit right around the inside of a Velcro belt. Definitely fit right into your pack. And so I love this thing, and I'll plug it every day of the year.
All right, so yeah, here's the list. It has 2 safety pins, a magnetized needle to make a makeshift compass, fishing hooks, fishing weights, fishing line, whistle, Technora cord, zip ties, duct tape, first aid tinder, ferrocinium rod, or ferro rod striker, water bag, purification tabs, and ranger bands.
And
There's a few other things: the water
Yep.
pre-filter, aluminum foil, wire saw, flashlight, ceramic knife, compass, signal mirror, and brass wire. That's a lot of items that you can get in one place to reduce the amount of trips to the store.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And it's www.wazoosurvivalgear.com, and that is also in my kit. So got a lot of things covered in there.
Definitely. Well, Tracy, I really appreciate you dropping by and having the projects for me to do and sitting down and teaching me about more than of what I need to know about. I hope to work with you more in the future.
Absolutely.
And I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Those of you who stayed this late, make sure you check out Wazoo Survival Gear. Make sure you check out Self-Reliance Outfitters. Check out Tracy Wilson. She's you've got a project you've got in the works, don't you?
I have several irons in the fire, so to speak, that I'm working on. I have got everything.
Let's just give them a teaser of a little bit.
Well, what I'm trying to do right now is put together my own little survival challenge for the everyday person. And I've previously pitched it to television management folks, and so I can retain creative rights to everything and see it go in the way that I'd like to see it go. I'm thinking what I may do is do it on my own and do all the editing and everything and put it on YouTube. And
So look for that.
way, those of you that are out there that feel like they want to be challenged and have their EDC put to the test, we're looking at doing that. So keep an eye out for that. That's something we're looking at. Also, another thing, I don't know if you all saw any of the other videos. Since I've been here, Mike was kind enough to help me make a dream come true, building a prototype for a future knife, as well as getting me back into a good hatchet. And I've gotten another axe here lately, and just either getting new gear, replacing old gear that I've worn out or broke. And it's been a fantastic trip here. So look out in the future for future things coming.
There you go.
Thank you much, man. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Tracy.
everything. You bet.
First American Axe and Forge, Mike Sullivan.
Tracy Wilson, leave no trace.
Until next time, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below. Have fun. Bye.
Take care, guys.